Jesus is Lord of this day. I beseech thee for my son Onesimus, whom I have begotten in my bonds. For perhaps he therefore departed for a season, that thou should receive him forever, not now as a servant, but above a servant, a brother beloved. Philemon, chapter 1, verses 10, 15, and 16. Paul wrote a letter to Philemon, who had a slave named Onesimus. Onesimus was an unprofitable servant to Philemon, and he ran away to another country where he lived as a fugitive. In a like manner, humanity is living in an isolated world as fugitives from the justice of God. Paul pleads for Onesimus's return and forgiveness. Paul states that he could command it be so, but he desires that all justice should be fulfilled. Paul intervenes for Onesimus that he might not just be forgiven, but be reinstated in a higher position than before. Paul asks that Onesimus be welcomed as a brother to Philemon. Even if Philemon were a merciful master, he would have no reason to elevate Onesimus to that level. Onesimus does not deserve such a blessing as Paul asks. Onesimus is a criminal, and by all accounts should be put to death as punishment for his crimes. However, Paul pleads for his life and asks for much more. Nevertheless, Paul leaves nothing to chance. He asks that Onesimus be treated as if he were Paul himself. Receive him as myself. If he hath wronged thee, or oweth thee anything, put that on my account. I will repay it. When Paul tells Philemon to receive Onesimus as myself, he has assured the outcome of Philemon's decision. For Philemon cannot refuse Paul. Philemon's love for Paul is overpowering. Yet Paul will not allow Philemon's love for him to be the deciding factor. Paul insists on paying Onesimus's debt. Paul states, I will repay it. Paul ends the letter knowing that Onesimus is assured an elevated status in Philemon's estate, and he sends Onesimus back to Philemon. Why is humanity suffering on earth for thousands of years? Sin has caused a separation between God and humanity. Because of sin, humanity departed from God for a season, so that God could receive humanity forever. Just as Onesimus found Jesus, each of us must find Jesus to be saved. Just as Paul intercedes and advocates for Onesimus's case, so Jesus intercedes and advocates for ours. Jesus asks God the Father to forgive and elevate each of us. Nevertheless, as in Onesimus's case, Jesus only intercedes for those who know him. Philemon may have had other runaway slaves, but only Onesimus was forgiven. Only Onesimus had a letter to Philemon from Paul. Paul's intervention was the deciding factor. No other way existed to escape the punishment that Onesimus deserved. Only those who have Jesus as their mediator are accepted into God's heaven. For those who have accepted Jesus, Jesus tells God the Father, put that on my account. I will repay it. Receive this person as if they were me. God the Father cannot refuse Jesus, so these cases are certain. All those who have become servants of Jesus because of a genuine love for him receive royal intercession. We are all Onesimus. For all that we owe, Jesus will repay it. Praise Jesus.